So this video is going to demonstrate how to apply limb bandage to a pet animal. It's worth noting at this stage that I've left the emergency muzzle on our demo dog here, just to highlight how important it is to always consider protecting yourself before you carry out any pet first aid on an injured animal. It's also worth considering that having somebody to help you is always worthwhile. If you have an animal that is injured, they're likely to be potentially fearful, aggressive and simply uncooperative. So having somebody that can calm the animal, that can restrain the animal and possibly even present to you the injured limb so that you can concentrate on bandaging the wound. We're going to use our demo dog here for the purposes of this demonstration, purely because of, well, this demo dog is more cooperative than a live dog. But if you do have the opportunity to practice bandaging at home on your pet dog, then do so, because practicing will get you better at bandaging and give you more confidence, and it will enable you to complete the bandaging a lot quicker. So follow this video, understand the technique that I'm going to be suggesting to you, and then where you can, practice either on your own pet or on a similar demo dog like this. We've gone through various layers of bandaging. In a first aid situation, it's unlikely that you'll have access to all of those layers of bandaging materials or the time to apply all 4 layers. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to apply the primary layer, which is the cushioned padding in the form of this soft band material, and then the secondary layer, which is this conforming bandage. These are materials that are very typically found in any first aid kit, so you're very likely to have access to it. Now, it's really important before we get started on demonstrating the actual bandaging technique to recognise that animals have digits, toes effectively, and they do sweat in between these digits. And if you were to bandage their paw, then it's likely that they might sweat and then their digits are rubbing against each other because they're tightly packed in the bandage. This can cause discomfort at the very least, or some really painful sores at worst. So it's really important that you place some absorbent material in between each digit. And you do this just by tearing off a little bit of the cotton wool material and placing it in between each digit. This is before you apply any bandaging. And by doing that, as the digits move, the sweat is being absorbed by this cotton wool material and therefore making it simply more comfortable for the animal. So it's really important to do that. It's difficult to demonstrate this on our demo dog here because we don't have any digits on this display model. So once you've put the bandaging material within the digits, we can then apply this primary layer. So this is the equivalent to cotton wool, if you like. We use a product called soft band, but there's lots of different things on the market. Now I'm going to demonstrate on our demo dog here. Now, if there is somebody available to help you, it's always best to delegate that and to get them to maybe restrain the animal for you and to present the wounded limb. You'll see here that we've also got our emergency muzzle applied, and this is just for safety. And again, it's something worth practicing with regards to applying the emergency muzzle. So with our emergency muzzle applied and somebody helping to restrain the animal, you can then concentrate on bandaging the wounded limb. I'm just going to, on here, just move this limb upwards, just so that on our demo dog you can see how to bandage it effectively. So, it's always best to bandage using a rolled up bandage. And we're going to, here, place the top of the bandage above the joint where the injury has occurred. So there has to be a joint. Otherwise, if you don't bandage over the joint and the bandage is sitting underneath it, as soon as the animal moves, there's a good chance that bandage will simply fall off, or they'll just shake it off. Cats are very good at shaking bandaging material off. So having it over the joint helps to anchor it to the limb. So I'm going to place the soft band over the joint and then up under the paw, and then I'm going to turn and bring it back again and over the paw again. So that means we've got a double layer of cushioning material over the paw. And from this point, we are then going to start bandaging. And I'm going to do a figure of 8 motion so it overlaps I'm going to do it relatively loosely first of all, down, and then as we all know it's important not to have a pooling of blood down at the distal end, so I'm going to then gradually get it tighter and tighter until it feels secure. Okay, so we've now got a good absorbent cushion layer on our wound. Next is to apply the conforming bandage, and we do this in exactly the same way. So I'm going to place the top of the conforming bandage over the joint, bring it down underneath, and then back round again. Now you can imagine this is creating quite some cushion at the paw, but that's good. It may look like a club foot, but ultimately it's a really secure, absorbent, protected bandage, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm then going to start bringing this conforming bandage round. As you apply the bandage, you can feel how tight it should be, remembering that you don't want it too tight so as to create discomfort for the animal or restricting the flow of blood, but you don't want it too loose either, because if it's too loose, well, it will just simply fall off the minute they start walking or shaking their paw. Okay. Once you've completed your bandaging layers, you should always check how tight or loose the bandage is, just by tucking your finger in the top. Always being aware that if it's too tight, it can affect blood flow, and if it's too loose, it will fall off. The method in which you secure your bandage is really based on what materials you have to hand, but micropore tape is always effective at just securing the end of the bandage. You could, of course, apply the fourth layer, which is an adhesive bandage, which helps keep this bandage in place. Or you might simply just, to prevent it getting wet or damaged, you could place a plastic bag over the paw, securing it with a band or some microporous tape. Never worry about what your bandage looks like. When you arrive at the veterinary surgery and present your injured animal to the veterinary team, they will be very grateful for the effort that you've gone to stem the flow of blood and to protect that wound from further infection. So it really doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as it's serving the purpose of protecting the wound, and obviously making sure that the animal is comfortable as well.